Today I'm going to show you how to make a presentation using Illustrator, using layers, or as we sometimes call them, slides. To begin, we want to bring the Illustrator up. Do that by clicking on the toolbar at the bottom. Then we need to open a new project. So click on Edit and New, and the project comes up. We're going to call that project. We'll check our other numbers on the screen to make sure that they're all what we want them for this particular project, and then click OK. If you're new to Illustrator, you'll see on this side is a toolbar of the different tools that we'll be using. On the right side are panels. Panels are selected by individual preference, and they can be pre-selected from the Windows menu up above. So what we want to do is show you some of the features dealing with Illustrator. First, I want to go over titles. Let's start by clicking on the big T here, which, as you can see, is the Type tool. And we're bringing it over here, and we'll title our page Titles. Okay, the font is set at a pretty low rate at 12 points. We want to make this larger. We can change it by highlighting here and then changing that like we would with Word, but it is much quicker to just click on the selection tool, and then it will make a box around the word, and then you just pull it down to the size that you want. You can make it larger. You can make it longer by just left clicking and pulling. A black title on a white sheet of paper is pretty simple. We want to actually make it look a little bit fancier. So what we can do is what we first need to do is to make a background to put the color on. So we come down here to this tile or this tool here, and when you hold down on it with left click, it gives you the options of what you have. What we want to use right now is the rectangle tool. Starting in the upper left-hand corner, pull down, and release. Okay, so now we have the default color of black, or title has disappeared. So what we want to do is to change the color of our background. Do this by clicking on the right-hand side where it says Fill, the pull-down menu, and we'll select an orange color. Now you can see that we still don't have our title. And when I first started this, I thought, well, why? I have a title there, I have a background, I have a color. Well, it's like taking a piece of paper and laying it over the top of something that you've already written on another piece of paper. So how we correct that is there's actually two ways. One, we can right click, come down to Arrange, and then Send to the back or Color Rectangle, and then our title comes up. The other way that this can be done is to leave the title where it is, and then go over here to the opaque tool, click on it, change it from 100% to say somewhere around 50%, and you can see that your title will show through. We would use different effects for different reasons. Then you can play with this to get it at a color that you like. Okay, so much for titles. Now we want to make another layer. We're going to look at shapes. So to do another layer, you can see the layer down here on the bottom right hand side, and then there's these different icons here. The third one over is create new layer. We click on that, and you can see it says layer 2. Now we could also rename these if we wanted to. So what we want to do now is go in, and we're going to put another layer or sheet of paper over the top. Right now our layer is clear. So again, we're going to use the rectangle tool. We'll come in. Actually, let's do something a little different. Let's use the rounded rectangle tool, and we'll come in about a ½ inch away from the corner, and we'll come down and over and get it so it's about the same on each side, and release. And then you can see there's our original orange color before we use the opaque tool. Now we can go ahead and go to fill to change this color, and let's change it to kind of a yellow color right now. That might be a little bit too bright. Okay, so we'll go with that color. Now we want to look at shapes. Again, we can go up here and click on the Shapes tool, and we'll come down here to Ellipse. Now ellipse can be a circle, or it can be an oblong, kind of like a football. To draw an ellipse, there's two ways of doing it. Double-clicking on the screen will bring up an automatic ellipse tool, and it shows the width and the height, which you can change if you'd like to. Click on OK, and it brings up a circle. Okay. Now, so that we can see the circle better, let's change the color. Okay. The other way, now we're still on the ellipse tool. The other way is to move your cursor to where you want it, left click, and then, okay, let's go back there and hit that again. So we'll left click and pull down, and then enlarge it to the size that we want. Again, we can go in and change the color. Now, if we were wanting to draw a circle larger and not have to use the width and height options here, we could click on the circle tool, hold down on the shift key, and then pull it out to whichever size we would want our circle to be, and just enlarging it to whatever size, big or small, that we would want it. Again, let's just change and do a little different color there. Okay. So that's a little bit with circles. Let's look a little bit with squares now. You come over here and hold down rectangles. The same thing with a square. If you set your cursor, hold down on the Shift key, pull down, it'll make a square. If you want to make another square, just hold down, pull, make the square, make it a rectangle, bring it whichever direction you want, and then you have another object here. Now what we want to look at now is on a third layer. So click your layer button again, and we have layer number 3. Okay, we'll go ahead, click the rectangle tool, put in a mask so that we can't see what was down here before. Okay, that's our new mask. Let's change that color. That was the last color we used. That's a little bright. So we'll change it to the brown color. Okay, now we're going to look at some special effects really quick here. By holding down on the rectangle tool button, we'll come down here to Star Tool. Stars, you can just has an anchor point. You pull down to make your star. Again, let's change the color. We can also change the color by using the spectrum bar. Okay, so we have that one. We'll come in here. We'll pull out another star. And so we have a whole variety of stars here. So we click on them and click different parts of the spectrum bar. We can change their color. Let's see, go back here to the selector tool. Remember to do things in the correct order here, or it will tell you that you're doing it wrong by not letting you do what you want to do. Okay, so we have 4 or 5 stars here, and say we wanted to move it to a different part of the screen. If we were to just try and move it like this, we'd have to move each one, and it'd be hard to get it back into the right place where we want it. So what we can do is go to Edit and Undo Move, and then if we hold down, if we go to the next selector tool, click on it, the direct selection tool, and hold down on Shift, and then click each of the 5 stars, and then group them together. That's a left click, and then select Group. Now they're attached so that they can move to other places on the screen without coming apart. So that's another great feature, or a specialized feature using Illustrator, which helps when you're building things and you want to put something in a certain place and you don't want it to move. So just in summary, we're going to click Make Our Layers Go Away. Our first layer had to do with titles. Our second layer had to do with shapes and how to make those. The third layer had to do also with shapes, but how to group them together so that they can be placed and moved with ease across your screen. So this is the end of my presentation. Thanks for watching.